Hi, welcome back to Paul and Aging Hippie. Today I'm taking us back to 1971 with a group or a band we've done before. So I'll see you the other side of this. So I promised you a band that we've seen before, and we're going to go back to 1967, an American rock band formed in Chicago, described themselves as a rock and roll band with horns. Of course, I'm talking about the band called Chicago. At that time, they were known as Chicago Transit Authority, and they recorded a cover version of "I'm a Man" for their 1969 debut album, The Chicago Transit Authority. When the band's popularity surged, "I'm a Man" was released in 1971 and reached number 49 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It reached number 8 in the UK and number 13 in Ireland. Now, this band to me always looked like they were just having a jamming session. Bloody good jamming session at that. The lead guitarist, Terry Kath, unfortunately died very young. I believe he was larking about with a pistol, put it to his head thinking that the gun was totally unloaded. Unfortunately, there was a round in the chamber which he hadn't seen, and he pulled the trigger. So, an unfortunate end. Check him out when you see him. He's one of the most underrated lead guitarists of all time. Absolutely terrific. Now, if you like this concept of coming along with an aging hippie, reviewing his life through the soundtrack of his life, if you want to hear some banging songs, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, hit the like button as well. The more likes I get, the more I get pushed out to people. Comment in the comment section, let me know what you would like me to play. So let's get back to 1971. Chicago, "I'm a Man." Let me know what you think of it in the comments.
All right, let's keep it going. Everybody get together.
Do you see what I mean by they always looked like they were just having a jamming session? It all looked totally out of control, but really they were in absolute total control.
Which was on my chin. You never had no problem, cause I always been real. I got no time for loving, my time is all used up. I spend my time being turned from a groove and guys to love. I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't love you so. I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. Just to keep them on my love. You think that I'm a tumor, my heart is made of stone. I never had no problem, my body's very strong. I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. Oh no, I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. Yes, I am, and I can't love you so.
Terrific, brilliant. And listen to that audience. They realised they'd just seen something special, and the appreciation was unbelievable. So, 1971, what was happening in the world? Well, the New York Times published the Pentagon Papers, which was a classified study of the Vietnam War, and it led to legal battles and public debate. The UK lifted all restrictions on gold ownership. Now, until I looked this up, I didn't even realise there was ever any restriction on how much gold you could own. In the US, a ban on cigarette ads on radio and television went into effect. And I suppose you can say they were way ahead of their time, really, in 1971, banning adverts for cigarettes. It was only just becoming clear how poor or how badly cigarettes did to your body. There was a large anti-Vietnam War protest which took place in Washington D.C. and Charles Manson was convicted of the Tate LaBianca murders. Now, what was I doing in 1971? Well, I was 16 going on 17 and getting more and more into mind-bending and illicit substances, as you do at 17 years old when you're a bit of a hippie. However, I did discover Northern Soul, and it was due to playing with substances that got me into it, because there was a trend that came with Northern Soul. They did all night, if you like discos, they would run all night into the late morning, I would say, I mean, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So it wasn't even early morning. Obviously, to get through the night, you need to pop amphetamine, or we called them, that we were popping little blueies throughout the night. This craze became more and more prevalent. So that's my roundup for 1971 for today. I'll bring you another track from 71 and also more of my life, more of what was going off in the world at a later date. Okay, now, you can't help but like that song that I've just played you. So hit that like button. That's enough for me today, and I'll see you very, very soon. You know that I love you all. Please come back and see me again very, very soon. You take care now. Bye-bye.